Welcome back to the Flooring Marketing Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Hammondtree. Thanks for joining me. And man, today I'm kind of fired up because I want to talk about something that is really, really vital and like something that's honestly, kind of frustrated me a little bit and brought up a little bit of like almost anger within myself the last like month or so. And what I want to talk about is like sales follow up and appointment setting, specifically when it comes to your mindset with following up with leads. I know this is something that you probably hear a lot of, and like fortunes in the follow up, all those sorts of things, right? But man, recently in a lot of the flooring businesses that I work with specifically, it seems to be a really big gaping hole in a large percentage of flooring companies. Now, I know there's definitely ones, and we work with a few that are like really, really good. Like when it comes, like they've got a process in place when it comes to like whenever a lead gets generated, or you send out the estimate, and there's a process in place after the initial, like I guess, touch points you could say, or the initial thing happens. And man, I really want to hit on, and what I'm trying to tell more of the businesses that I talk to is, man, you just got to have more of a killer mindset when it comes to following up with your leads. So whether that's like however you generate leads, right, for your business, if it's like from Angie, it's from Home Advisor, it's from a Facebook lead, a Google lead, a lead on your website, it's an inbound phone call, it's a referral, power partnership, whatever it is. This idea that people are just going to automatically come to you and just want to book an appointment with you without you having to try is absolutely ludicrous. I'll give you a really specific example just to kind of be a little bit more detail with what I'm saying here. So we've had just a couple of people that I've seen that let's say they get a Facebook lead, right? A lead that raises their hand, says, hey, I'm interested in your flooring services, I want hardwood, I want vinyl, whatever, right? They submit a form, let's say. They become a lead through your marketing campaign that your flooring company is running. That lead comes in. What I'm talking about is, okay, what's the process afterwards? After the lead comes in, what is your exact process to essentially attack these leads to get them to book an appointment? Now, when I say attack, I don't mean like spam them, annoy them, like, be really mean about it. What I mean is just, again, having that killer mindset when it comes to trying to book as many leads as possible for appointments. And this is just something, again, I've seen, this is a huge gaping hole, and a huge gap, I feel like, within flooring companies. Like there's some that are really good at like the lead generation side, and and leads are a dime a dozen, right? Like you can go out and get leads pretty much anywhere. But this is what I see separate the really good flooring companies that last a while or a long time, and the ones that just don't. The ones that last maybe a couple of years are the ones that really struggle to get sales. Let me give you a more specific example. So a lot of times we'll help with, Facebook campaigns and things like that for flooring businesses. And we've got some systems that help them follow up with the lead, things like that, right? And you can generate the hottest leads in the world that raise their hand, that maybe text you or email you, be like, hey, yeah, I want to book an appointment. But if you are not getting back to the lead for like a day or 3 days, and you just kind of let it sit there, that lead's going to turn really, really cold, really, really fast. And so the companies that I see really succeed and do really well are the ones that don't let leads sit for a long time, and that call them multiple times, 3 times or so whenever they first get a lead that comes in. They're texting leads constantly. So like if a lead doesn't respond back after your first initial question or text, they text them again. They text them a third time, right? And I know you might think like, but that's annoying. People don't want to get texted all the time. They don't want all these emails, things like that. Sure, maybe they don't. But what are they going to say? They're going to say, no, I'm not interested. They're going to say, sure, maybe F off, right? you might get the occasional F off, or just really bad responses, right? Or people are going to say no. So what? Who cares? Who cares if they say no? You go to the next one. But that's the only thing that can happen. That's the only negative thing that can happen. But you want to know the positive things that can happen from you having a killer mindset and having a killer appointment setting and sales process in place? The positives of that are that you can get way more sales. You can book way more appointments. You can make way more money. So, I mean, you may be listening to this and you're like, oh, yeah, my sales process is good. I've got this thing in place, that thing in place. But one thing I really want you to look at is, what is your speed to lead? Now, you may have heard of that phrase before, but that's a really, really important one. What I mean by that is, when you get a lead that comes in, whatever source it is, how fast are you at getting to that lead? How fast are you following up with that lead? If you get a lead off of a form off your website, how many minutes is it taking you to pick up the phone and call them? How many minutes is it taking you to shoot them a text or email them? Right? And there's lots of tools now you can use. There's lots of different softwares that you can use that can help you with some automated follow-up and things like that. But at some point, there has to be that human touch, right? You can't just completely rely on automation and AI. Now, you can really leverage it, of course, in different ways, but that's besides the point. My whole point is, do you have the killer mindset to have a killer appointment setting and sales process in place? And are you personally, or your sales team, really, really attacking leads? Just having that mindset of, like, the worst they can say is no, but the best they can say is yes. And we close more customers, help more people, and make them more money. So I could go into more detail, of course, on, like, you need to have this follow-up in place, that follow-up in place, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, sure, there's a conversation for that, but you got to have the mindset first. You can figure out the nuances and the practical side of it. How, like, sending out a text, like, just keep it really simple. This is way simpler than you think. If you have the mindset of just attacking leads, getting after them, that killer mindset that you're going to keep following up with people until they give you a no, but you're going to get way more yeses. If you have that mindset, you'll figure out the practical side. All you got to do is pick up the phone as fast as you can, text them multiple times, right? Just be nice, be a genuine person, but just don't give up. It's the old adage, right? Everybody says, but it's true. Just have that killer mindset, have a killer follow-up process in place on your appointment setting side, and after you give the estimate, right? Because just because you give out an estimate doesn't mean people are just going to choose you. You have to give them a reason to choose you. So what's your process after that? So a couple things to think about. Just wanted to have a conversation about that today. But it's just really, really important. And it's been something that's been huge on my mind recently. And something that, trying to think about more myself. And so this has been the Flooring Marketing Mastery Podcast. Thanks for listening to this episode, and we will see you in the next one.